I don't know about you, but it feels great to be able to finally talk about football on the field. Week 1 of the 2016 NFL season's in the books. It's nice to just be able to talk about football. And it was a good opening week. I don't know if the quality of play was tremendous, but you had several close, exciting games with compelling finishes. Cowboys, Giants, Saints, Raiders, Colts, Lions, Broncos, Panthers, Cardinals, Patriots, Seahawks, Dolphins, Packers, Jaguars. Lots of close competitive games with exciting, compelling, interesting finishes. So that was cool. It was a good way to start off the week. And, in general, it was shaping up to really be a great week of week 1 until the Monday night games happened and they kind of stunk up the joint. But, you can't win them all, I suppose. Still, it's great to have a weekend. Started on Thursday, doubleheader on Monday night, even if the quality of play or the games wasn't that great. Still great to have NFL football back again. So let's talk about the week that was week 1 of the 2016 NFL season. I'll start off with the game of the week. Lots of choices I could go with here. I think Denver, Carolina is a great choice. New England, Arizona is a great choice. I'll go with Green Bay and Jacksonville. I just was able to see quite a bit of that game and thought that game was really, really good. I thought that was a lot of fun, especially as I'm sitting there and watching the Bears stink up the joint in the second half against the Texans. I'll pick Green Bay and Jacksonville, but if somebody wants to say New England, Arizona, or Denver, Carolina, because of the teams involved, I don't blame them. My call of the week has to be Jack Del Rio having the stones to go for 2 late in the game. Seth Roberts had just scored that touchdown for Oakland, pulled him within 1. The logical thing to do is to kick the extra point, hope your defense prevents the Saints from getting in position to kick a game-winning field goal, and you go to overtime and you roll the dice and take your chances there. Jack Del Rio may be realizing that, hey, kicking this extra point tying the game is no guarantee that you're going to win this game. Furthermore, it's not even a guarantee that you're going to go into overtime because the Saints could very well just drive down there. Why not try to win or lose the thing right now? And he did. I don't know if he makes the same decision in week 16 as opposed to week 1, because week 1 you could take more risk, more chances, because in theory it doesn't mean as much here. You can overcome this at this point in time of the year, so why not roll the dice? Why not make a statement? Why not show faith in your young quarterback and your offense? And he did. And they got the job done. I took some incredible stones, in part because it worked. flat out, and it worked. My surprise of the week has to be the New England Patriots going into Arizona and beating the Cardinals. The Cardinals are pretty much full health. The New England Patriots, Chandler Jones is gone to the Arizona Cardinals. Tom Brady, your future first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback, arguably the greatest that's ever been at the position. He's not there due to the Deflategate suspension. Rob Gronkowski, the Gronk, the best tight end of the league, he's out with an injury. So the Patriots roll into town without their Hall of Fame quarterback, and they're all pro tight end, the 2 best players on their team, and find a way to defeat a team that made it to the NFC Championship game last year and very well could make it to the Super Bowl this year in the Arizona Cardinals. That was a real surprise with Jimmy Garoppolo leading the way. You would have thought out of the first 4 games that if there was one game you could pin your hat on that the Patriots were going to lose, it was going to be this one, and they didn't. And hats off to them for that. So let's talk now about some studs and duds from the week that was. The studs, Drew Brees, over 400 yards passing, 4 touchdowns in a losing effort. There are other quarterbacks in losing efforts that played really well. Andrew Luck played really well in a losing effort. One quarterback that I thought played really well in a winning effort was Carson Wentz of the Philadelphia Eagles. His first career start, he throws for over 270 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yes, I'm a Carson Wentz nut-hugger. Suck it! Because for 1 week, he was a stud. He made the Cleveland Browns made foolish just in general, but more specifically because they passed on the chance to draft him because they believed in RG&E. Oopsie daisies. DeAngelo Williams, 33 years old and going strong. He ran for over 100 yards, had a couple of touchdowns on Monday night against the Redskins. And you look at DeAngelo Williams and you say, he's doing it still this late in his career. And if the Steelers never got Le'Veon Bell back, DeAngelo Williams is good enough where you still view that as an elite Steelers offense and a team that could go to the Super Bowl out of the AFC or at least be a contender. DeAngelo Williams played like a man in week 1, as did A.J. Green. He made Darrelle Revis and the Jets secondary look foolish. AJ Green was a monster, and he deserves all the recognition and praise that he gets. Sometimes I don't think he gets talked enough for how good he is. One defense that I thought was pretty impressive in a loss were the Miami Dolphins. Their defense played well enough against the Seahawks to put their team in a position to win. Frankly, the Dolphins were probably the better team in general on the field on Sunday and should have won that game. But bad teams lose games they should win. But the Miami defense played really, really well and deserves some recognition. Duds of the week, Darrelle Revis. So much for Revis Island. Maybe it sunk into the ocean. I don't know what happened, but he was bad. 1 week does not a washed-up player make, but it didn't look promising for the rest of this year for the Jets, with him especially. The Chargers defense. The San Diego Chargers, early on against KC on Sunday, they look like world beaters. Melvin Gordon is scoring touchdowns, for Christ's sakes. They're up by 21 points. You think this game is a wrap. It's over. And they let the Chiefs back into it. They made Alex Smith look like a Pro Bowler, all-pro damn near. And they found a way to lose a game they should win. Again, that's what bad teams do. They lose games and find ways to lose games that they should win. And that's what the Chargers did here. The biggest duds of the week, though, have to be the Rams offense. You've moved to Los Angeles. You've got the number 1 overall pick sitting on the bench, not even dressed for the game. He's third string. You've got Todd Gurley, and you go out there and you put up a goose egg on offense against the 49ers. Seriously. You got shut out on Monday night in prime time. How fucking embarrassing is that? Got to be the biggest dud performance of the week. They didn't even score. Holy Christ. How about some winners and losers of the week? The winners, New England Patriots, going into Arizona against a quality opponent. No Brady, no Gronk, and they still find a way to win. The Denver Broncos, defending Super Bowl champions, facing off against their opponents from Super Bowl 50, the Carolina Panthers. You've got Peyton Manning is there, the Super Bowl trophy's there, and everything else, and all the attention opening the season on Thursday night with a young and experienced quarterback in Trevor Siemian, and the Broncos really didn't miss a beat. They found a way to win a game. And frankly, people will talk about when questions this or questions that with Siemian. The way Siemian played, he was good enough. He was most certainly as bad as Peyton Manning was at any point in time last year, and better than Peyton Manning was the majority of last year. So if anything, the Broncos with this win against a quality opponent, combined with what the New England Patriots did, maybe shows that the AFC's big boys are better than the NFC's big boys, and that the Denver Broncos, even with Trevor Siemian and not Peyton Manning, can still be a Super Bowl player in the AFC. I think you got to look at the Philadelphia Eagles, too, from an organizational standpoint. Their first-round pick that they gave up the farm to go up and get played very well, played like a future star, and led them to victory. On top of that, earlier on, being able to trade off Sam Bradford for first and fourth-round pick. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is a hell of a week and a half for the Philadelphia Eagles. They have to be considered big winners. They have to be. How about the losers? Let's go with the San Diego Chargers. You lose Keenan Allen for the year. No Joey Bosa because of the stupidity of his holdout situation that the Chargers organization perpetuated because they're idiots. Then you open up the season against a divisional opponent in Kansas City. Melvin Gordon is scoring touchdowns and all this other crazy shit's happening. You're up 3 touchdowns and you find a way to lose. That just can't happen. The Cleveland Browns, what more can you say? They are truly the skid marks of the NFL. They are the worst organization in the league by a mile. Don't believe that. Eat shit. Eat skid mark shit, if you will. Because that's what they are. They are skid mark shit. They passed upon the opportunity to draft Carson Wentz, who fell into their laps at number 2 overall, the best quarterback in the 2016 NFL Draft. Dead to rights, everything pointed to take that guy. So, of course, they didn't, because they don't feel that Carson Wentz could be a top 20 quarterback in the NFL because the Cleveland Browns are stupid. So what do? They hitch their wagon to Argini. They trade out of that 2nd overall pick. And watch as Argini breaks a bone in his shoulder and is out at least half of the year, and Carson Wentz beats your ass in week 1. That's the epitome of how the Browns do business versus the other organizations. The Eagles were desperate to get their young quarterback of the future and paid a heavy price to get him. And it paid off in week 1. The Cleveland Browns chose to not draft a young quarterback of the future. instead trying to go out there with an injury-prone retread in RG and they found out once and for all why he's called RG and the Browns apparently, maybe this was the intentional plan all along, so that way they could try and be in the running for the number 1 overall pick in the 2017 draft, which they will ultimately blow on the wrong quarterback any fucking ways. But the biggest losers of the week, believe it or not, are not the Cleveland Browns. It has to be the Los Angeles Rams. Monday Night Football. You get skunked, goose-egged by the 49ers. This is the second straight year the 49ers have made somebody look bad on the opening Monday night late game. Last year it was Teddy Bridgewater and the Vikings. This year they made the Rams look even worse. The Rams got skunked. Aaron Donald's losing his cool and getting ejected. And worst of all, you're getting shut out, and Jared Goff is in street clothes. You made him the number 3 quarterback. What the fuck is this organization doing? I don't care if he wasn't great in the offseason. I don't care if he looked like shit in the preseason. The fact of the matter is, a big reason you traded up so much to get Jared Goff is because you didn't believe in Sean Mannion. You most certainly didn't believe in Case fucking Keenum. And all the while, you just had to trot out their Case Keenum in week number 1, and what happens? The Rams get their shit pushed in, and Jeff Fisher's mustache gets almost Dave Wanstead type crooked. He deserves to get fired at the end of the year. Ridiculous. Jared Goff had to be starting that game. There's a reason you fucking drafted him. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the only way this guy is going to learn, and the best way he's going to learn, fuck that old school way of thinking that doesn't apply anymore, that dates back to a day when the fucking every NFL team ran the ball 60, 65% of the damn time. A quarterback learns best by playing. By playing. You do him no favors by sitting him on the bench. And furthermore, how could it be any fucking worse? You got shut out by the goddamn Chip Kelly-led San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football. If Jared Goff isn't starting week number 2 for the Rams, they are just fucking stupid, and they're asking for it. They're just flat asking for it. They're asking to get their shit pushed in all year, and they're asking to stunt Jared Goff's development to the point where he eventually becomes one of those Tim Couch type of busts that we talk about for years to come. The fact that he didn't start this game in week 1 is ridiculous. The fact that he wasn't even in a position to be the number 2 quarterback to where once this game was clearly out of hand, and the most exciting thing was Kevin Harlan's call of a shirtless drunk streaking across the field. The fact that he wasn't in a position where he could even be put in the game to get some valuable live NFL regular season game experience with no pressure on him because the game's already fucking over anyways, makes the Los Angeles Rams by far the biggest losers of week number 1.